So we have a very special guest for you this morning,
Yeah, we have a friend who is a published author.
and we're excited she's
Yes.
here.
Here we go. Yeah.
Wow. Well, hey everybody, I'm Bill,
And I'm Elizabeth. Live simple.
Live Free, and we have some very special guests here for you today, and they are...
I'm Diane Campbell.
I'm Jim Campbell.
And we are so excited. For one thing, they've been dear friends since 1983.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. It's amazing. But she has written a book. It's a good book. We have really, really enjoyed it. It's like published and it's beautiful and everything. And so we're very, very thrilled about this book.
So we are here to tell you about this, but we just want to take a couple seconds just to tell about our friendship with Jim and Diane. I got out of the Army in 1982. I went to Colorado State University for one semester, and then I went to University of Northern Colorado in Greeley, and that's where we met them. It was at the church, wasn't it? Foursquare Church?
Actually, I remember meeting Beth at a fundraising dinner. She was singing a song. You sang for a dinner, and that's when I first met you. And then I think we did meet Bill at church. I think they started coming to the church after that. Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, we're here in Virginia, and they live in
Colorado.
Yeah, in Colorado.
So actually,
that's where I grew up.
Quite a bit of time went by where we didn't have a whole lot of contact, but then we've just recently remade contact, and it's amazing how the years go by, and it seems like your friendship, if you have a good friendship, it's like nothing's changed in your relationships.
Yeah.
So
pick up right where you left off. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I know. It does feel that way.
Bill and Jim used to climb together.
Yeah, rock climbing. Rock climbing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And all over Colorado. So that was fun.
We would get together on a really regular basis because Bill was in college and working his brain to death, and it was wonderful just to get together with Jim and Diane and relax, and so we had these we just had all sorts of fun stuff we did. But I just will never forget back in the day. Anybody, if you're younger, you won't remember this, but back in the day, if you ever actually got a VCR.
Oh, are you going to tell the story?
Yeah, I'm just going to set it up. If you actually got a VCR, it took a lot of fussing and programming to get the whole thing to work right.
When you first got it.
When you first get the VCR. Yeah. I'll let you guys go from there.
Okay. Yeah, so we had this, we went over to their house every Friday night for what we called the Friday Night Club. Yeah. And it was, us and them and a couple of other couples of friends. And it wasn't, a Bible study or anything like that. It was just sort of a social night, and
a chance to relax.
We would watch movies on a VCR, and Jim bought a brand new VCR and was hooking it up to the TV when we were over there on getting ready to watch something on Friday night.
And it was really just us, the four of us.
Yeah, and I was sitting in the back, in a recliner or couch or whatever, and he was pushing all the buttons and trying to get everything working on the VCR, but I had the remote.
Looking for Jim.
It was testing my Christianity.
And he would say, "Okay, I think it's all ready to go," and he'd hit play, and it would play for about 3 seconds, and it would stop.
And then he'd hit fast reverse, rewind, and it would go fast forward.
And he was grumbling and complaining. What's wrong with this stupid thing? Finally,
I spent all this money on this thing, and it's just not working.
I couldn't keep my laughter in anymore, and I just guffawed out loud. And he turned around and he sold me with that remote. One of the funniest things I've ever seen. So.
Yeah, all of a sudden you heard this. You heard this like incredible giggle from behind us because he couldn't stand it anymore. Jim turns around like, oh. Yeah.
So anyway, we've been friends for a long, long time. Yeah. So, but let's get to the book.
Go
You
ahead.
What's that?
We did Friday Night Club for a long time. It involved a lot of people at one point. You know, we just kept adding more and more till we filled the house up. So
Well, we started that when Bill was trying to get ready for the CPA exam, and he had to be able to relax. And I was amazed when we got to see you guys. Good grief, it was like 15 years later. We had a chance to get out to Colorado, and it was still going. I just thought that was the coolest thing.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So anyway, point blank. That's why we're here, right?
Yes,
We just
here.
have so much fun reminiscing.
Yep.
yeah,
So this is a Christian book,
Hmm.
and it is written in the genre of mystery thriller.
mystery,
Right.
thriller, suspense, they're kind of lumped together. I
Okay.
think. Yeah.
So that's kind of an unusual genre for a Christian book. So
Well, not as usual as you might, or unusual as you might think. There actually
Okay.
are quite a few authors these days writing in that genre.
okay.
A lot. There's legal thrillers, and there's cop things, and there's so there's a lot of variety within that. So
Okay. So Christian
Yeah.
fiction apparently has gone a long way since the last time I looked at it. But yeah, that's exciting.
No, I think that's really cool. And
Yeah.
it was a suspense thriller. I mean, I was like totally lost in a wonderful way for as long as I was supposed to be. I mean, he read it first, and it was really hard for him to not talk to me about it. And then, I was able to read it so we could really talk about it. But yeah, it's well done.
And at the end of every chapter, she put in some kind of either a major or a minor hook that just kept you going into like curiosity. What in the world is going on here? I got to keep reading to find out. So,
Yeah, a lot of those really great say what moments. So yeah.
it's awesome.
We
to
we
hear.
yeah.
I appreciate
not-
that you enjoyed it.
Oh,
It's
yeah, I
really
mean-
awesome to hear.
I didn't enjoy it just because you wrote it. Although I got such a kick out of the fact that you wrote it. But a lot of times I would just forget that it was you that wrote it, and I was just so caught up in the actual story. So I think I would have enjoyed it tremendously even if we weren't friends, because I was like, every now and then I stop and go, wow, Diane wrote that. So that's pretty cool.
Cool.
That's pretty cool. We just had a couple things we wanted to ask you about, get to interview an author here. What made you kind of pick this kind of a genre? How long has this process been going on for you as far as this book coming about?
Well, those are like two questions, but
Yeah.
Right. Yes, they are. But I mean, I kind of feel like that whatever got you started on it has to be a factor in why you went with this genre.
Well, I think like a lot of authors, we want to write in what we enjoy. And I like a story that has a lot of plot twists, that has interesting characters doing extraordinary kinds of things, or things that maybe I wouldn't myself get a chance to do, if it's whatever, it just, so you write a story that you like, a story that you would enjoy. And the process for me of getting to this book is a very, very long one, because I started writing probably in the late 80s. And I don't know at what point in time you guys moved, but I'm guessing that I was in the midst of taking writing classes around the time that maybe you guys had moved. And so maybe I wasn't published yet at that point in time.
Well, I didn't even know that you were writing until many years later. We left Greeley in '87.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't even know that you were working on that until you came out on Facebook and said, "I'm almost finished my book." It's like, really?
But you have been getting published then.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I was published in a number of different magazines, and I wrote short stories. I wrote true life stories. I wrote some inspirational articles. Everything was short form kind of writing for periodicals and such. And I also wrote some plays. I have a published play. And some of the other plays that I wrote, though I never published them, we performed them at the church. The church was always very eager to go, oh yeah, Diane, you got to play. Let's do it. So, and people got behind me. It was always very thrilling to be able to see that happen. That was as thrilling to me as being published, to see a play brought to life. But I always wanted to do a novel, and I had kept a lot of ideas percolating in my head over the years, thinking that one of these days I am going to have a chance to actually start writing a real full-length novel. So that didn't happen until a few years ago. I got connected with the American Christian fiction writers, where I got a lot more training and learning how to actually do novel writing versus periodical writing, which are two very different kinds of things. And that kind of set me grounded on what I needed to know technically in order to be able to write. So,
Very cool.
yeah.
And connecting with other people that are doing it, it's got to be an incredible amount of encouragement.
Absolutely. I think it's essential. It was essential for me. It was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So did you have like beta testers and stuff, beta readers? People that would like,
Oh,
yeah, I thought
definitely.
so. Yeah.
I'm very active with a critique group that's connected with the American Christian fiction writers. And I also have beta readers, and those two different things. But they're both really needed if you're going to go to print. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just we organically just kind of all need each other kind of a thing when something's being created like that.
With all that writing that she was doing in the past, right now, wouldn't it be cool if she could have like gotten some kind of an award or something like that?
Yeah.
Really be something.
So what do you got there? Tell us about that.
When I had a finished draft, you can put it down, honey. When I had a finished draft of Point Blank, I discovered that ACFW has a contest for not yet published authors to have their work evaluated by industry professionals. And they do this contest every year. It starts in January. The contest doesn't finish until September when they do their big awards banquet, and they name their winner. Well, I decided to get in on it because I wanted feedback from industry professionals, and that was one of the things that you would get in the first round of judging. Everyone who entered would get feedback, and I thought that would be great to get. So I entered. I was a semifinalist, and then I thought, whoa, and then I was a finalist and was whoa. And yeah, I ended up winning the mystery thriller category for the Genesis Award with my not finished but drafted novel of Point Blank. So very exciting.
Really excellent. Yeah.
Oh, that is seriously cool. That must have been so encouraging and so affirming with all the work that you did.
It was almost a surreal experience, really, to be there, to be at the gala, to be in the spotlight, to be highlighted amongst published authors, amongst well-known names of published authors that were winning the big awards. The Genesis Awards are the beginner awards, and they also had, the big serious awards going on that night too.
Who was it, the one everybody knows now? Who was it?
Several of them. Oh, but the year that I won, they gave a Lifetime Achievement Award to Jerry Jenkins, and he got up and accepted his award. And yeah. And then there's a bunch of other awards, obviously, that they gave out too in all kinds of categories for fiction writing. And so it was really surreal. And I didn't expect to win. I definitely didn't expect to even be there, let alone win. So very exciting.
One of the things that I'm seeing and what you're saying is that you have been very willing to treat this whole idea of writing with genuine grown-up seriousness. In other words, what do I need to learn? Who can help me? How do I really go about this process? And go through the work involved to get you where you are today. I mean, I find that very admirable. I really do. It's not an easy process.
Yeah, I really appreciated many people really who mentored me in the process and who continue to do that because I continue to learn. Um, Getting it written is one part of the learning process. Getting it published is another part. Marketing it is yet another part. And so it keeps going and I keep learning.
That's pretty cool. Why did you name it Point Blank? Without giving away any spoilers.
Well, Point Blank really, it began as a working title, but I didn't come up with any title that I liked better than Point Blank. Point Blank is about, it refers to her memory loss, her blank gaps in her memory, which
okay.
the protagonist is dealing with having gaps in her memory. And these are a serious hindrance to her when she finds out that there's someone missing and she's being implicated. And so implicated in a missing girl. So, yeah.
Yeah, that it it fits it, and it's a good strong title.
Absolutely.
So cool. So just like I said, once again, without too many spoilers, if you just wanted to share what overall message do you think that you would really like as a Christian and as a good writer that you want to really bring, maybe communicate through this?
Well, I think that readers can read it for the suspense and for the storyline. And I hear from readers about how much they appreciate that, which just warms my heart, really. But deep down, it's a story about a father and daughter reconciling. And so taking that on a spiritual level, it's also about how our Heavenly Father stands in the gap for us and how he goes the extra mile for us. It's subtly woven throughout the story. I think you would say that it's subtly woven. But it's there. It's definitely there. It's not hidden. So I want people to know that there is no hurdle in life that keeps you from God. And God uses all the things that you experience in life, even the difficult things, to bring you closer to himself. And I think that's the message of the story, if there is to be one message. Yeah.
I love the Chronicles of Narnia, and when I got done with the story, it was reminding me in The Horse and His Boy when the Shasta is going down a very dangerous trail in the mountains, and it's foggy, and he's very afraid, and he feels really lost, and him eventually slowly having it dawn on him that Aslan, who represents Jesus in the books, has been walking beside him, between him and the cliff edge the whole time. And it just, I thought about that. It reminded me of that. If I could put a plug in here for C.S. Lewis too, but just that, but just
if someone talks about C.S. Lewis alongside talking about my book, I consider that to be pretty high grade.
But like I said, just that whole overall feeling of us sometimes during hard times in our life, not knowing how very greatly God is protecting us and bringing about what he knows we need in our life. When that kid was going down that mountain, he didn't realize he was safe, but he was, and it reminded me a little bit of that wonderful scene in the Chronicles of Narnia. So yeah, cool.
Perfect.
So, you got any future projects?
Actually,
kind of in the works or percolating?
I do. I actually, before Point Blank is actually not my first book. It's just the first one I've finished. I started writing another book prior to starting Point Blank, and it is a big epic fantasy adventure. There's a lot involved, a lot of characters, there's world building, there's lots of stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
And I discovered that it was really probably too big of a book for me to start off with as my first book. And so I didn't know really what I wanted to do at that point in time, but I ran across the first chapter that I had written of Point Blank 30 years ago, 35 years ago. I ran across chapter 1 in a filing cabinet, and said, that's going to be the story. That's the story I should do first. I can do this story. It's got 2 characters, and I just needed to figure out exactly where this girl was going to go to get to the end result that I wanted her to get to. So, I mean, there still was a lot of work to do because it was only chapter 1, but it became the first book when I really thought I was going to be doing this other book first. But I'm back to working on the other book, on the big epic.
Very cool.
Having a lot of fun with it. But it's a big novel, and it's going to take a little time before people are going to see that one out. But I'm chipping away at it. So
I'm seriously excited about that. That's pretty cool. Yep. All right. That was like the main things we really kind of wanted to ask you about. It's been really interesting talking to you about this. And Jimmy did a great job showing the award. I'm sorry, Diane, what were you saying?
I'm here for props.
It keeps me squared away. He's a strong point for me, and he's also a lot of wit in my life, and I also use him because of his law enforcement background. I use him for legal questions and stuff like that. Make sure that my cops in my stories, when I have them, do what cops ought to be doing. So yeah, great resource for me.
I still tell people that for over 22 years I was in and out of jail a lot. And then I tell them I finally retired from the sheriff's office. Good icebreaker.
Bad joke. He's been telling that joke for 30 years. So
No. I didn't retire until 2012, 2013. So
Diane, if someone wants to purchase your book, how can they go about doing that?
Well, the easiest way, I think, is to go to my website, and on my book page, I have Point Blank posted on the book page, of course, and with it, links to a number of different retail outlets, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Nook, and on and on and on through it goes, so that people can easily just click on whichever link they want to go to, and it'll take them right to the page where my book is available.
Okay, good. So I will put a link below this video for her website, for the book page on her website, so you can easily find it, and then you can choose where you want to buy it from.
I'd love to also be able to offer the book available to people as a signed copy directly from me. So we'll figure out how we can do that, and put that also on the book page. So
that would be pretty cool.
Look for it.
Yeah.
So, Point Blank. Where is it? Diane Campbell. There you go. Both of us read it. Both of us thoroughly enjoyed it. Both of us thoroughly recommend it. It's good reading. Good, wholesome reading.
Well, and it's a very well done story.
Yeah.
So, and I just, it's just
awesome.
a blast. You
guys are awesome, and it's so much fun to be able to chat with you. We need to do this more often, not necessarily for the YouTube channel, but just us. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah,
well, we really do. We got stuff like this available. We should take advantage of it more than we do. Absolutely. So you guys haven't aged a bit. I just don't think you have. Oh, goodness.
So we pretty much need to bring this to an end.
Yeah.
We're starting to ramble on now.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for taking the time to do this.
Yeah.
We thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So did we, very much. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah. So
Point Blank. It's a great book. Okay.
I already said that.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So thanks for watching, everybody.
Live simple.
Live free. Say goodbye, guys.
Toodaloo.
You be blessed.
Yes.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah, we love you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.